KBSEO, KBSEO, KBSEO. Itala Mojuba, Gadaba Mojuba. KBSEO. I salute you 13 times, Baba Shango. We're going to do this quick video on Shango the King. Now, Shango is a very popular Orisha. Shango is a Yoruba deity. The Yoruba people originated in southwest Nigeria. Now, the name Shango means to strike. It contains the word Shan. So Shango is the strike or the striker. In African Vodun, he is known as Havioso, meaning bird of fire. One of Shango's attributes is also Jakuta, the stone thrower. He is the Orisha of storms, thunder, lightning, and fire. He is a spirit that loves drumming and dancing, and this is akin to the very atoms and subatomic particles that dance and take shape via the rhythms and vibrations of all that is around us. Sound shapes the universe as well as our very existence. You see, Shango plays a vital role in not just the sound that shapes the universe, but the fire of life itself. If there's no fire, there is no movement. When anything moves, heat is generated. All living things produce some form of heat. In the animal kingdom, we see that all living mammals give off warmth. This includes humans as well. Shango is that fire that animates the living. He helps life to come into being, while his favorite wife, Oya, helps life to transition back into the realm of the invisible. By the way, you want to see an alpha male? Shango. He loves the ladies. In fact, he's had relations with 2 other strong female Orishas other than Oya. This includes Oba, his first wife, and Oshun, his divine concubine. It's important to note that all 3 of these female Orisha are linked to their own river back in Africa. This is also an indication of Shango's wealth. We look at the ancient world and we discover it. Every ancient civilization had a river next to it. That is, the most important or advanced civilizations that they talk about in history. Not to say that any civilization is less important, but as well as those civilizations that have had special emphasis as being advanced in antiquity. So we see that rivers are also symbolic of income and outflow of wealth, as well as transportation. Rivers are also the blood vessels of the earth herself. Your blood vessels are governed by Oshun. Your blood vessels and your arteries work like rivers inside your body. Shango is known to spit fire, and there are priests of Shango who can literally do this, and I've seen this myself. And on the symbolic level, we can say this represents the ability to express ourselves and speak things into existence. This is why it's important to be careful of the things in which we say, because what you say can either make you or break you. We create as we speak. In nature, Shango manifests as fire, thunder, and lightning, and also the ability to bring rain. Each and every one of us, like Shango, have the ability to speak with such authority that we can cause things to manifest in our lives. We also want to be careful of those things that we say to ourselves as well as other people. We have to be mindful. Even though Shango has the gift of gab, he speaks to his children only once. Shango will communicate with you with a flash of realization. He is that lightning bolt that lights up the sky. He is that lightning bolt that lights up your mind. He represents the awakened life force within every individual. When you have a weak life force, it becomes difficult to manifest the things you need and want, not to mention fulfill your desires. Remember, Shango is the king. and each and every king is blessed with what is called the royal secret. The royal secret is alchemy, the ability to transmute that which is of a lesser quality to a higher quality. Shango does this with his purifying fire, and Shango, also known as Hevioso, is the king that brings that fire, that thunder, that lightning, and that rain. In fact, the word Hevioso, which is his name in African Vodun, means bird of fire, the phoenix. The phoenix is a legendary bird who is composed of fire, and when it dies, it burns itself up and rises as the new phoenix from its own ashes. And if you study Yoruba tradition and Yoruba mythology, and by the way, mythologies are not falsehoods, they're actually a deeper way of breaking off truth in story form. We learned that Shango, like many kingly and Christed-like figures, goes to a death and resurrection. You'll get into that some more later. And let's talk about the phoenix. It goes all the way back to Kemet as the Bennu bird, called the heart of Ra. So fire is seen as not only symbolic of passion and the desire to live, it's also an agent of purification. Shango deals with that purifying fire that chastises us and make us behave when we get out of line or when we decide that we don't want to walk the path of our destiny. Shango is all about living life to the fullest. It is said that Shango is the strategist, a trait necessary in order to build an empire or be a competent ruler. If there's anyone who understands the psychological aspect of warfare, it's Shango. He represents the only one who is the master of how to play the game with the gift of gab, who stutters from time to time, but he speaks to his children once. How is that? Shango has that ferociousness of Ogun. He's direct. He'll tell you exactly what he thinks about you. However, he has the wisdom of Obatala, which is why his colors are red and white. And by the way, Ogun's color in Africa is red, but in diaspora, his colors are green and black. Okay? So we see that he had to have guidance with Obatala. If you study any tradition in Africa where there's a king, they often have a council of elders. They need that guidance because a king can't just do whatever he want to do and run a kingdom. He also is the servant of the people, and this is something that's got to be understood. It's because Shango has that drive to push us beyond our limits and take us into the heights of our potential, which is why he is so necessary. He's a very popular Orisha over here in the diaspora and very necessary because we need that drive to tap into that royal part of ourselves, that king, that queen part of ourselves. Because yes, Shango deals with the masculine and feminine. However, Shango is so masculine that even his daughters are called his sons. That's the top of masculine energy we're dealing with Shango. Now, some traditions tell us that Shango was actually the first diviner. And in fact, he exchanged places with Orumala, who started out as the spirit of the dance, who is now the spirit of divination and destiny. And Shango was originally the owner of what is called the Opine tray. That's the divination tray that I just mentioned. And he traded his divination tray for Orumala's bata drums, which are played during ceremonial gatherings called bembes. See? So, that power, that passion that comes with the drum, we have to understand a relationship with the drum to that divine sexual energy. That's kind of like the African Tantra, because you beat the drums slowly, then you speed up, then you start to slow down. You reach that climax, then you begin to slow down. That's the sexual energy taking place in life. Remember, Shango deals with the life force, and it is Shango, according to Yoruba tradition in Odu Idigbe, that introduced the drums to humanity. So Shango also speaks to the drum. The drum is like that thunder, the music. Shango deals with music and sound vibration. Remember, it is music and sound vibration that shapes creation, including the fire of life. So Shango is very important. He represents that aspect of overcoming and to have what it takes to move to the highest levels. Not only does he represent the game, but he represents existence itself. The gift of gab, the preacher, the politician, and even the pimp. All these are attributes of Shango. He's got that charisma. So he is strategic, though, with his ability to speak. To walk this path, we have to learn how to speak and mean what we say. Also having the strategy to make sure we stay stable in order to do the things we gotta do so that we can live our lives to the fullest. And Shango is so much about living life. He is known to remove suicidal thoughts and everything else. Shango likes apples, bananas, mangoes, cornmeal, and okra. You can set up a place to connect with him in your home. He likes symbols like double axes, arrowheads, and so forth. You could take some red and white colors, red and white candles, and so forth, and drums and other symbols of authority. And that could be your focal point. You can set this up in your home, okay, if you wish. And from time to time, you can cut up some apples, red apples, cut them up into 6 pieces and offer them to him. And you can also take 6 little bananas. He liked these things. And 6 peppers. He liked hot foods too, and spicy foods and everything else. And you can also leave offerings at the base of a tree, especially those trees that have forked extensions like a woman's leg sticking out of the ground. You don't have to be initiated to do any of this that I just mentioned. However, if he chooses you as a child of Shango, allow Spirit to lead you to the next necessary steps. And also, the easiest way to do this and find out is to consult a priest, an Orisha priest or a Babalawo. That's very important. However, the Orishas are all around us. You have access to them because they're forces of nature, and they're also aspects within your psyche. So there's no way that you can get away from the Orishas. So we make peace with them, and we allow the Orishas to help assist us on our destiny. Shango, he represents that drive and that willpower that it takes to move forward. The fire of life, the fire within each and every atom, that thunder and lightning. Shango is the Orisha that lives in the sky, who stays on the top of the tree, striking down the enemies of righteousness with his bolts of lightning. Kabiesio Baba. I give thanks and praise to Baba Shango. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this video up, family. Hope to talk to you soon with some more videos on the Orishas. And as well, we're gonna talk about the Ori and Ifa. Stay tuned, family. Peace and blessings. Odabo.